Hello there everyone, this is Phantom Duels here, and today I'm going to be doing What If Deku Was Betrayed? Review dash the movie. So basically I am not going to be doing the episodes for this one. My first ever What If Deku Was Betrayed. He was basically a ghoul and it's going to be the same, just basically in this one Deku is going to be, there's going to be a lot of different stuff in this What If. And it's not gonna be the same as my last one where I only had it two parts. I'm really sorry if I only had it two parts on that one. I got caught up making so many other ones. So yeah, this is going to be the movie dash the only part I'll be ever doing for What If Deku Was Betrayed. But I think my other betrayal Dekus, I'll be thinking of which other series should get a movie. But if you guys want me to do uh another series, I'll be doing it, but I have another one coming out. So yeah, so we're going to start where Izuku is 14 years old. He was going to his house. So yeah, by the time Izuku gets to UA, that'll be when I do the time skip. He saw no one, said hi or anything. As Izuku said, "Guys, I'm back. I'm back home." As Izuku's sister Izumi yelled, "I don't care. Go clean my room, you dog." As Izuku kept quiet and looked at Izumi and said nothing. As he put his stuff on down and started to clean Izumi's room. As Izumi as Izuku was putting something on a shelf that Izumi had. As she as Izumi used her quirk pyrokinesis and punched Izuku on his ribs. Then Izuku Izuku said, "What was that for?" As Izumi said, "Because you make someone get hurt, and because of you, I almost got in trouble." As she left, Izuku finished, he went to his room and started to do his homework. And the reason why he was saying this is because a week ago, Izuku and her were looking for something on their house because of their mothers asking them. As Izuku was just waiting outside, his sister went to look for it. As when Izuku tried to pull her out, she got hit. As Izuku, and then and other times she got in trouble because of Izuku doing dumb things. So yeah, uh, Izuku, Izuku felt more depression than normal as Izuku held back his anger and hatred as he had a lot of sadness that he could kill his own family in a blink of an eye. As Izuku started to write on the notebook, she wrote theories about heroes, how they live, what they're like. As Izuku then decided to make a YouTube videos. I don't really know if in My Hero Academia YouTube exists because when we see Izuku watching the All My videos, it seems like YouTube actually exists. As Izuku's channel name was The Ghost of Humanity. As the first video Izuku posted, it only had it only had 25 viewers. As Izuku only friend was his younger brother Ryu. Ryu was a nice little kid who cared about his older brother. Ryu quirk was a powerful telekinesis quirk. As we skip to the next day, Izuku checked his channel and saw that he had over 3K subs uh, and saw a million views on his first video. As Izuku, before going to school, he made a video and uploaded. Izuku got ready. He went to school as he was attacked by Bakugo and his goons. As Izuku had no emotion on his face as everyone was laughing at him. As Izuku got healed somehow and started to cry tears of anger. As Izuku was in the ground crying, then we see Izuku green hair, half of it turn white. As Izuku's hair grew to the same amount of his hair grew to be the same amount as Kaneki. It's no longer spiky, it's now like down like Kaneki. So this is Izuku right here. If you guys look correctly, this is Izuku right here. Right here, Izuku Midoriya. As Izuku said, "Well, at least I don't look like them anymore." As he went to his classroom, Then the teacher said, I know all of you want to become a hero, as everyone show their quirks. As Bakugo said the same thing in canon, it's just saying it with Izumi. As the teacher said, oh yeah, Izuku, you're going to UA. As Izuku nodded, then Bakugo got pissed and sat down. As we skipped to the end of the school, Izuku was writing on his notebook. As Bakugo told Izumi to burn his notebook, as she did, then Izumi and Bakugo kept punching Izuku. Then they stopped as Izuku saw them leave, but Izuku got healed. He got up and saw his notebook wasn't that burned. As Izuku checked his YouTube channel, checked his YouTube and saw and and saw and saw and on his channel as Izuku saw 100k subs on his channel. Izuku smiled and made a video saying thank you for 100k subs as he saw 10 million views on his second video. As Izuku decided to make a bank account to save the money he gets from YouTube. As the people as the people from the bank account gave Izuku his own credit card, as Izuku saw how much money he had, which was a million yen, 1 million yen. Izuku said a few more years, and this is where, and a few more years, and this is where we're skipped to the after the USJ. Izuku had a one for all at 20%, but one day Izuku got to his class. As he saw Mr. Aizawa grab Izuku with his scarf, as Izuku said, What happened? Why are you doing this to me?" said Izuku. Then Ida said, "You're just a villain. Look at your white hair. You never smile," as Izumi said. "I knew you were a villain since you came here." As Izuku black eyes looked at Izumi and said, "This was your fault, Izumi." As Izumi saw All Might grab Izuku, take a piece of his hair, take a piece of Izuku's hair as Izuku felt his power leaving him. As the police took Izuku, then before Izuku leaving said, "Say goodbye to Ryu." As Izuku remembered his channel and said, "I will come back," as Izuku had 1.5 million subs with at least a hundred million yen in his bank account. Then Izuku was brought to jail as a person who looked like Jason from Tokyo Ghoul grabbed Izuku, took them to a chamber, and started to rip Izuku's finger, telling him to count. As Izuku was counting from 1,000 minus 700, as Izuku did the same thing Kaneki did when he was fighting against Jason. As Izuku's hair fully turned white, his black eyes no longer had hope, as Izuku was yelling out in pain. Then we see Izuku looking at someone, and this was Ken Kaneki. As Ken Kaneki said, are you gonna give up? Are you going to give up, kid? Are you planning on giving up to someone like Jason?" As Izuku said, "No, I'm not. I just can't fight him. I don't have power." As Kaneki laughed and said, "Kid, you remind me of me. You remind me of me when I was a lot more younger. So now it's my turn to give you my power. I will train you, and then once you reach 18 years old, you will kill this man Jason, because the police didn't know that he took you. So now, so now show them what a ghoul is." As Isugu agreed to this and said, "If I'm a ghoul, I'd rather be a ghoul than a human." As Isuku, as we for at least 3 years, Isuku was getting tortured as Isuku reached 18 years old. The police has been looking for Izuku, but they couldn't find him, as they were missing one more prisoner, who was Jason. They knew his quirk was like things coming out of his back that can kill people and things, and this was exactly the same Jason. He was hunting down Kaneki as Kaneki was reincarnated to someone else, as Izuku. took the look of Kaneki when Kaneki had was in the chamber with Jason. That's the same place Jason took Izuku. As Izuku is wearing these clothes, the same clothes that Kaneki wear, he was wearing it. As Izuku looked at Jason when Jason came and said, "Well, I think it's time for me to kill you. The police is here, and I don't want to get find out who I am. So now it's time for you. It's time for you to let me think. Die." As Izuku looked up and said, "Ha, little old Jason, the one that couldn't even kill me when I was back in my world. And look at this. I killed you. I killed you, so now it's my time to get revenge." As Izuku grabbed the chains that were holding him, wrapped it around Jason's neck, and started to fight around with Jason. As Jason took out his Kage and started to say, "I will kill you, I 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 will kill you." As Izuku said, "You said that last time. Now it's time to die, Jason." Then Izuku started to fight with Jason, not even summoning out his Kagane. As Jason, as Izuku punched Jason once in his gut, but Jason's Kagane was covering his body. As then Izuku, as Jason grabbed Izuku's leg and threw him in the air, but Izuku then twisted his leg the same way Kaneki did. As Izuku said, "You think that's gonna hurt me after all you did?" As Izuku kicked Jason, breaking his leg. As when Izuku landed on his legs, it healed instantly. As Izuku looked at Jason and said, "You think after all the suffering I have gone through because of you, you you're thinking that that's gonna hurt me, Jason. Now it's time that I permanently end you forever." As Izuku summoned on his Kagune, he grabbed Jason, threw him to the roof, grabbed Jason, and slammed him to the ground. As Izuku slammed Jason into the ground, then Izuku cracked one of his fingers, made his Kagune fly all the way to Jason, stabbed Jason on his right leg, making Jason yell out in pain. As Izuku then stabbed Jason on his other leg, and making Jason gel out in pain again. As he then stabbed Jason on his arms and told him, "Count 1,000 minus 7." As Jason did the same thing in canon, crying as Isuku said, "Now, since you wanted to eat me, it's time for me to eat you." As Isuku finished eating Jason permanently off. Izuku, and this Kaneki, aka Izuku, doesn't need to eat human or anything. He can eat normal food, but when he wants to gain more power, he can eat other ghouls. Which I'll be bringing some random ghouls just to give Izuku power sometimes, but not all the time. By eating Jason, Izuku has enough power to destroy how do you call to destroy Yue. So basically, Izuku then finished eating Jason as he faked that he was unconscious. He let the police grab him and take him back to prison. As Izuku said, "I'm back here again." As all the prisoners were about to punch Izuku, but Izuku then activated his one eye of a ghoul, showed it to them, and they all started yelling in fear because they haven't seen a monster like him. As Izuku went to them and looked at them creepily as he said, "Are any of you ready to die?" As they all said, "No, sorry, sir, we won't bother you again." As Izuku said, "Good. Now shut up and sit down." As they all sat down, it was the next day. Izuku was
meditating, talking to Kaneki. As Kaneki said, well, okay, time for me to fuse with you. As Izuku said, but are you sure? Then Kaneki said, well, it is. I lived a good life, so now it's time for you to live one. As Kaneki fused with Izuku, giving Izuku all his memories and abilities about all the stages of the Kagune. As Izuku said, well, I have the second stage for eating Jason, and I don't have to eat humans. So let's see if I get out of this prison sooner or later. As we continue, we see Nezu trying to find information to prove to prove young Midoriya was not to prove Izuku Midoriya was not the traitor of UA. As Izuku as Izuku fin not wait sorry about that. Izuku finish making Izuku just finished meditating as Nezu found proof over the past few years of Izuku being stuck in prison. He was 18 years old, like I last explained. Nezu has found proof of how Izuku was innocent. He didn't have he didn't have any anger or anything. Nezu was just pissed that Izumi was the one that planned this out because they have a record. Izuku hasn't done anything. He hasn't done anything to anyone. He's only been good to everyone. But as as Nezu couldn't speak anymore, as Nezu just said, they photoshopped it. Nezu called Izumi and Bakugo. As said, what is it, Nezu? Then Nezu said, you're both are going to be out of UA for 2 weeks. As Bakugo said, why? As Nezu showed them and said, you made one of our students go to prison just because of your hatred towards them. As Izuku was feeling like someone was talking about him, as Bakugo said, Tisk, that weakling didn't even deserve to be in UA. As Izumi was shocked and said, please Nezu, I was forced by. As Bakugo said, let's go. Bakugo and Izumi left. Enko was very mad at her for doing that, even though she didn't like Izuku. And All Might was mad as well, but All Might gave her his quirk to her his favorite daughter. His son Ryu was still looking for his older brother, but Izumi was given one for off to from All Might. As All Might said, Izumi, I am disappointed in you, but still, you shouldn't not done that. Even though I'm proud of you, you shouldn't not done that. I'm saying it so wrong. You should have never done that. As we see Izuku waking up from a jail cell, he was dragged by the police to the front of the school. That's not the school, the front of the prison. As Izuku was called by Nezu out of the prison. Now they gave Izuku this same clothes. The clothes that you see on the screen, this one, they gave it to Izuku. Izuku put it on and just waited for Nezu. As Nezu said, well, Izuku, I am sorry, but it was your sister who framed you, so I will. It was your sister who framed you, so I will be leaving. I will be giving you the choice. You can come back to UA, or you can stay here, or you can just go back to living your ordinary life. As Izuku smiled and said, I will be doing something else. Thank you, Nesu, for taking me out of prison. I will be speaking to you later. As Izuku activated his Kagune and jumped into the air, landing on top of the prison. Because basically, the jail or the police station was around the city. As Izuku jumped on top of the city and started to climb up walls. As Izuku managed to land on top of a building. While Izuku was getting out of jail, he was giving a mask that reminded him of the one Kaneki was wearing, as Izuku was wearing that as well. He put it on and he got his phone as well. As he looked at his channel, he had it at least 10, 3 billion, not 3 billion, 3.5 million subscribers. As he only had 4 videos out. As Izuku made another video out showing who he is. As Izuku said, "Hello there, guys. I am the ghost of humanity. Thank you guys for getting me to 3.5 million subscribers. And yeah, I'm sorry I've been gone for a long time. I just got into a problem with UA. The reason why UA and me got into a problem was because one of my siblings framed me. They framed me into making everyone believe that I was technically a villain, stealing files from UA. And if you guys have seen the news about this kid Izuku Midoriya, that's me, Izuku Midoriya. But if you guys know me as the ghost of the humanity, that's even better. So if any of you guys want to unsubscribe because you guys feel like I'm a villain or anything, you're welcome to. You're welcome to do it if you want. But I'm glad for those who will stay and watch my videos more longer. For now, I'll be doing more theories about heroes, but I'll be showing it through live cam from now on. So yeah, this is going to be the Ghost of Humanity's fifth video of his YouTube channel career. I will be meeting you guys later. Thank you guys for watching and goodbye. As he posted the video, and over one whole hour, he had already 100K views on it. As he saw the comments, he saw that in the comments, people were saying that we won't unsubscribe to you. We get the feeling of being betrayed or anything like that. So yeah, Ghost of the Humanity, don't worry, we all feel your pain. As Izuku smiled and kept making videos. But he just continued his hero career as a vigilante. And if you guys are wondering, am I gonna make Izuku a villain? In two short versions, yes, he could be a villain. No, maybe he could. I don't know. It's up to the ship that I'm thinking of. Reasons why I'm saying the ship is someone that I'm saying right now. This is a ship that I made up. It's the ship is the number one's greatest villain. The world's number one's greatest villain. Not all for one. It's a different type because all for one is the villain is the world's greatest villain for Japan, not for all the states. Japan. So the world's greatest villain. I will show you a picture of her right now. I'm gonna do a quick pause. So yeah, I'm back. I just came up with a name right in the spot. Her name is going to be Akame. She's the world's greatest villain. Not for the Akame from Akame got killed. No, no, no. She's an Akame who has multiple quirks. She has multiple quirks, which I'll be explaining over the time of the series. Not the series, the one shot or the movie. Basically, she's gonna be the ship because she's the world's number one's greatest villain. Reasons why? Multiple Quirks was forced to become the number one's greatest villain because she saw how nasty Hero Society is, and the fake villain and the fake heroes that are in the Hero Society, and how people treat one innocent kid. It's because she saw Izuku's video and she saw how she looked like because Izuku revealed who he is and how he looks like now. They saw him without the mask. They saw him with the mask on and he had a one red eye on, his ghoul eye on. As Izuku told them, Izuku said in the video that he won't reveal his face, he only say his name. And if they want to look for him, they have to find a kid with white hair. So I'm gonna pause real quick. If you guys don't believe me that I just got that name from searching it up, nope. I just came up with the name right in the spot. I was just looking for the picture of the world's greatest villain that I had it saved. So basically, Izuku. Izuku was Izuku was just doing vigilante work. He was saving people from quiet places, not letting anyone not letting anyone know who he is. As when everyone saw him, he always left a note saying the ghost of the humanity. Because basically he can become the ghost of the humanity even though he doesn't look like a ghost, he still acts like one. As Izuku became the ghost of the humanity because of because of how quiet and stealthy he is. As Izuku became known as that. Everyone who search up Izuku's YouTube channel is known as the is known as known knows him as the ghost of the humanity. Izuku has posted videos of all heroes who lied to them. Izuku show videos. Izuku even made live streams showing how heroes work. As there was a random hero who used his fame and money flexing it on poor people. As Izuku said, this is why hero society is really weird. We see heroes pretending they're all high and mighty, saying that they're all great, they will protect us from anything. But they are just doing this. They are just doing this for fame. They are not doing it because they want to protect us. As Izuku got at least 3.3 billion views on that video because that was a hero who was really famous. He was close to the top 10 ranking. As Izuku said to made another video showing showing another hero, explaining the story of how of the same things about this hero, showing them, and Izuku has become more known and known as over the past few years of Izuku being known. Meaning we're gonna go to a 2 year time skip. Izuku is 20 years old. Izuku has at least close to 100 million subscribers, as Izuku has become one of the most famous YouTubers out there. His Ooh, I think you guys won't believe me, but the money that Izuku has now, he's at least close to being a trillionaire because he doesn't waste his money. He basically only uses it to buy food and eat. He lives outside in the world helping everyone. Yeah, Izuku will buy a house after he decides to give up his vigilante work because he doesn't kill villains. He only knocks them. He knocks them out and bring them to the police as the police decided to let loose of following Izuku. Izuku knocks out the fake heroes and Izuku captures the videos of the fake heroes flexing their money and send it to YouTube as those fake heroes have been you want something funny? They have been fired from their positions. They had it to give up their hero license and everything. As Izuku said, as Izuku made another video saying to everyone that if they would, and this was a live stream, if they want to find him or meet him, they could meet him at, let's say, a random place. At the park next to the tallest building a few miles from UA. As everyone in UA was watching the video because of Mr. Aizawa showing it to them. As Aizawa, over these past few years, have already found out who the ghost of humanity is. As Aizawa was shocked, he said, Midoriya. Okay. As everyone saw this, they were like, "Tis that villain." Making videos saying that all heroes aren't only doing that they're doing it for fame and money. As Mr. Aizawa just got pissed and said, and this is the reason why you guys believe everyone. As Izuku said, Izuku was just doing using his live stream and said, "Oh, and yeah, if any of you guys are if any of you guys are wondering who I really am, he takes off his mask. I am Izuku Midoriya, or as you guys may know me, Ken Kaneki or the Ghost of the Humanity or the Ghost of Humanity. So basically, all the people are shocked to see that the Ghost of the Humanity is only a 20-year-old adult or a kid. Basically, for me in Japan, I saw what will consider Izuku a kid, as Izuku just said. If you guys are saying that, how can a 20-year-old kid be considered be be a vigilante, be this, be that? I'm just doing this to save people from those fake heroes. The true heroes are the heroes who doesn't mistreat their families. As I may say, All Might was one of them once to me, but I am disappointed to say that he's not a true hero. And if anyone out there disagrees with me, good job. If you disagree with me, good job. I don't care. It's your choice. Ah, Shizuku. So yeah, Asisuku just said this. So everyone that wants to meet me at the park that is a few miles from meet me at the park from a few miles from UA at the tallest building. I will be standing there with my mask on. I will I will meet you guys all there, but I will be far away. I know there's heroes after me after all. They think that I'm bad to this community, but I'm only showing the truth to the police, and they understand better than those heroes do. As Izuku jumped off from a building, as everyone saw Izuku fall, but then Izuku activated Kagune and just was basically was just jumping from building to building as the live stream ended. There was more than a 1 billion people watching that live stream. As Izuku then went to the place where he said that he'll meet all his fans, as all of them, and when I mean all of them, not actually all of them that live in Japan went over there. No, that live in Japan. So yeah, after after all of them managed to go to the UA Stadium, not the UA Stadium, the park that was close to UA, but a few miles away. They all went there and saw Izuku. They all yelled out, the ghost of humanity! We're your biggest fans!" As Izuku laughed and said, as Izuku jumped off from the building, landed on top of a tree, and said, "Well, welcome. I am the ghost of the humanity, and thank you, everyone. This is my first time meeting all of you, so is there any stories you guys want to tell?" People started to tell problems that have been happening around the whole world. As Izuku said, "Well, seems like things are happening. Seems like things are gonna be happening pretty soon. Oh, and the USJ did happen, but they're gonna have a the USJ did happen, but they're not gonna have another one. It's basically gonna go to the Izuku. The agencies, I'm not gonna bring it up because Izuku's a vigilante. The After USJ was a sports festival. Okay, I got an idea. So we continue. After a few hours of talking, there was basically this girl came. I'm gonna pause. She came after a few hours of everyone leaving and saying thank you to the ghosts of the humanity. Izuku was just sitting on a tree, sitting on the building because heroes came and the police was just letting Izuku talk. As Izuku was sitting on a building, looking down above the city, as he had his mask off. Then he saw Akame, as he said, "You can call out Akame, the world's greatest villain." "What does the world's greatest villain want with me?" Izuku said. She said, "I just wanted to talk to you." I'm gonna pause real quick. Sorry about the pause. I just needed to change back to the other picture. As Izuku said, "So you, the world's greatest villain, wanted to talk with a low class like me?" So yeah, the world's greatest villain looks at Izuku and says, or for now, let's call her Akame. As Akame says, so Izuku, like I said, I just wanted to talk to you. Izuku says, something suspicious. So what brings the world's greatest villain to Japan? Uh, she explained that she's been actually looking for you, looking for me, no, looking for Izuku. As Izuku said, as Izuku said, so you've been looking for me for how many years? She said, I've I've been looking for you for let's say since Izuku started the YouTube channel when he was 15, for at least 2 years. As Izuku smiled and said, "Wow, that's like the longest time a person should be looking for someone. So, what brings you here?" So yeah. Mm-hmm. Then she nods while blushing because Izuku's smiling at her. Izuku just says, "So, so you like me?" As Izuku said, as Izuku said this to Akame. So Akame, you've been looking for the technically I'm just the third world's greatest vigilante, but you decided to look for me either way. As Akame nodded, and Inizuku asked, "Why?" And then, so yeah, Akame says, "I, I've been looking for you for those many years because," she just started to stutter because and then Izuku said, "Say it." Izuku then said, "I like you." As Izuku laughed and said, "You like me?" And Izuku said, as Izuku just started to laugh and said, "So there's actually still people in the world who care about me." As Izuku said, as she said, "Yes, Izuku, there's still people in the world who care about you. You can't be saying no one cares about you." As Izuku said, as Izuku just as Izuku just grabbed Akame and hugged her, as he said, "I hope you don't mind this, but I kinda did have a crush on you. Even though I already know what your backstory was like, I don't have to know who you are and everything." As Izuku just looked at Akame. Oh shoot. Sorry about that, guys. I think I forgot where I was lefting it off. So yeah, it was where Nisuku and his sister, no, where Nisuku and Akame were meeting Inko. As Inko was shocked to see Akame there. Akame was really glad to see Izuku have someone to care about, even though even though his last one didn't like him that much. She decided to she decided to cheat on him in the last part. As Izuku was really glad. And the ship that I said was Akame. She was the world number one greatest villain. as we see Izuku going to do his vigilante work with Akame. As Akame and him decided to go watch the sports festival, as the sports festival was today. We see Izuku and Akame watching the sports festival, as the sports festival was kind of boring until Aizawa noticed Izuku's leg. As Aizawa says, looks like we have the ghost of humanity here. As the ghost of the humanity said, as the ghost of the humanity jumped, let's say over the past few minutes before Izuku was cold, Akame was sleeping on Izuku's shoulder as Izuku had to carry her bridal style to the ground. As Akame said, as Akame was sleeping, she cuddled even more closer to Izuku's chest, and Izuku smiled and said, I really hope we don't break up at the end. As Izuku laughed, then he was sliding with his Kagune through the parts through the walls of the stadium of the sports festival. As he landed next to Aizawa, and he said, "Shoto Shota Aizawa," or Eraserhead. What is it that you want with me? As he looked at his fans and said, "Well, there, everyone, it's me, the ghost of the humanity. How's everyone's day? How's everyone's day going?" As everyone's yelled out, "Good!" As Izuku smiled and said, "Well, that's good to hear, everyone. It's great to see you all come to the. It's great to see you all come to the sports festival. So hope you don't get bored of the end." As we see Izuku looking at Nezu and said, "Well, Nezu, thank you for helping me get out of prison. I hope we meet again." As we skip to where Izuku jumped back up to the spot where he was sitting. Then we skip to where Izuku reached home. He put Akame on his bed and he lay down next to her. She woke up a few hours later. She was laying down with Izuku. As she said, Izuku, what happened?" As Izuku said, "Oh, you were asleep the whole time. I was just carrying you. We were walking and I was carrying you throughout the whole day. You were just sleeping while I was talking to the UA students and everything, as they told, and they won't come after you if you don't come after them." As Izuku's not, she smiled and Izuku smiled. As she said, "I won't. I'm just glad I'm with you." As Izuku said, "Me too." As we then skip to a few days later, it was the after the sports festivals, the agencies. Yeah, agencies. As it was time to choose the agencies. Izumi went to Gran Torino's agency. Everyone went to their state agencies as in canon, and we continue as Izuku was going driving in a car with Akame to the city where the normals were about to attack. As Izuku and Akame were going to the beach in that city, then they see that a fire started to happen. As Izuku and Akame started to use their quirks to protect everyone from getting attacked. As someone was recording this, they see the ghost of the Uchiha, the ghost of the humanity in Akame, the world's number one villain, protecting people. As as Akame said, "You know, there's someone recording us." As I said, "Let them be. At the end, I know that I won't be the one suffering." As Akame laughed with Izuku, as we see Izuku and Akame going to the city, as they saw normals trying to kill the heroes, as Izuku uses Kagune, made it into a sharp point and strike strike as Izuku strike the normal on the head. Not being dumb and having all his knowledge, he strike the normal on his head one time and one more thing. He just struck the normal one time, and this was a high-ranking normal, but they still haven't thought about covering their head. As Shizuku finished the battle, killing all the normals with only his Kagune, as Sakame was watching from the car. As Shizuku finished fighting with with the Nomos. All the heroes were like, "Go, ghosts of the humanity, you are under arrest," as Shizuku said. "The police are not helping you. Look at them." As the police were just sitting down, watching, as the police was just sitting down, looking at. The police was just looking at Izuku, smiling, saying thank you, as the heroes were the only thing protecting them now. Then we see. Then we see. Give me a quick second. Ah, jeez. Yeah. Then we see. Then we see Izuku going to save Ida from Stain's attack. As Ida was about to get stabbed on the heart by Stain, Izuku slapped Stain with his bare hand, sending him flying towards the wall, breaking to two walls as Stain had his head bleeding. No, not his head was bleeding. Basically, his cheek was bleeding because it was cut as Izuku laughed and said, "Dang, Stain, the world's greatest hero killer, can't even kill me." Stain slashed Shizuku once, but it couldn't work. He couldn't do anything. Stain couldn't do anything or any and nothing else. As Izuku, as Izuku looked at Stain, Izuku's like instantly healed. As Izuku looked at Stain with a creepy smile and said, think that works on me. As Izuku Kagane grabs Stain, slamming him from wall to wall. As then Izuku got Stain knocked out to a point where he can't walk anymore. As Izuku got Stain on one arm, and Todoroki was awake. He was just knocked out. As Izuku had the other hero that was hurt by Stain on his back, and Todoroki carried Ida. As the police looked at Izuku and grabbed Stain. As Stain did the same thing in canon, he said, no other hero is a hero, but oh my, he is a true hero. All the other heroes have to die." Izuku just said, "Oh, shut up," as he then slapped him again, knocking him out. Then Izuku looked at his girlfriend and said, "You can't blame me, he was yelling too much." She looked at Izuku and said, "You might have a point, but still, next time warn people." Izuku then said, "Okay, I will. Don't worry, I won't do it again." And she smiled and said, "Good." So if you guys are wondering, am I going back to doing my parts? Yes, I am. Just that I'm only doing this movie to not forget because I haven't done my betrayal once in a long time. So yeah, Asizuku. When as Kame said, "Can you please carry me?" Asizuku said, "But didn't you say you can walk?" As she put up puppy dog eyes, Asizuku said, "I really don't like when you do that." As she carried her bridal style, which she started to blush and thinking, what would happen if me and Izuku get married? As she just started blushing, and one thing, as Izuku just looked at uh, Akame, who was blushing hard, as Akame said, "You know something funny? You know something funny, Izuku?" As Izuku said, "And what's that?" Then Izuku said, then she says this. She then kisses him on the cheek, and then kisses him on the lip. Then Izuku looks at her and says, "What was that for?" She smiled and said, "Just because I love you." Shizuku then said, "So yeah." Shizuku looked at her with a smile and said, "I love you too." as they went home. Then we see Akame and Izuku laying in bed together. As Izuku tells Akame that that they will be that there will be a video, not a video. They will be making a video explaining about both of them, me and you relationship. As she smiled and said, "Okay." As Izuku and her had it, I explain about their relationships. Yes, they made a video and explain about their relationship. As everyone agreed to this relationship because they can see the ghost of the Uchiha, the ghost of the humanity, is no longer sad. As Izuku laughed and said, "Well, everyone, this is my girlfriend. So if you guys are wondering, am I gonna go psychotic? Oh heck no! I just wanted you to be, I just wanted to explain to you guys my relationship with the world's greatest villain. So this was a live stream. Isuko could see the answers. As they all nodded and said, "Thank you for answering our questions." As Isuku then said, "Well, thank you guys for the end of the answer. This was the Ghost of the Uchiha here, and goodbye." As we continue, we see Isuku and Akame walking around shops. As Isuku was wearing a hoodie in a different type of clothing. He was when he's normal, he wears this clothing over here, and his black hair kind of no his white hair still's the same, but no one recognizes because he doesn't have his red eye activated, his ghoul eye. As Isuku looks at Akame and said, "Do you want me to buy you anything?" As she said, "No, no, no, I don't want you to waste your money." As Isuku laughed and said, "You saw what I bought my mother, and you're thinking things that you buy, things that you buy would be enough to waste my money." She looked at her, as she just face palm and said, "Guess you're right." As Isuku says, "Nope, I am right." She smiled at Isuku and said, "Okay, so what can I, uh, what can I get?" As Isuku just laughed and said, "You get whatever you want." She smiled and said, "Okay, then let's go to a dress shop." As Isuku just said, "Oh no," he looked at her as she just gave him a creepy smile, just a smile that tells Isuku that he's gonna be enjoying a few things. Oh no, I would be so shocked if I was stuck in a in a girl's dressing room. Oh lord, that's not gonna be my word. That's gonna be someone's worst nightmare, but still someone's good. So we continue. So then we see Isuku. As we see Isuku, where as we see Isuku coming out of the shop with a nosebleed. As Akame just laughed and said, "So you never seen a girl?" As Isuku just said, shh, don't say it. I'm good." As we see Isuku just as we see Isuku all flustered as he said, Mom, I need to get some sleep." She said, "Nope, we're going somewhere else." Isuku then thought about this and was like, "Huh, the agency part, the training arc won't happen, but I'm not bringing Isuku and her over there. We're just gonna be basing on this for now." As Isuku and her were just going around shops, as Isuku then said, "I'll be back. I have to go to help someone." As Isuku lied to her, just going to see something. Then we see Izuku and Akame. Akame just separating as Akame went to a shoe shop. Izuku gave her his credit card so she can buy as much as she wants. If Izuku just went to a jewelry and bought a ring. Yeah, Izuku's 20 years old. People, don't blame me. Then Izuku just went to the jewelry storehouse. The jewelry staff gave Izuku a ring, a red jewel, as Izuku smiled and said thank you. As he put the ring on his pocket and just looked at Akami. She came out with at least a bag full of shoes, as Izuku said. As Izuku just face pumped. Oh God, how much shoes did you buy? As Izuku said. Mm. She said, I bought at least 10 shoes. As Izuku just said, I did say you can buy as many shoes as you want, so I don't have a problem. So I don't have a problem with it. As she just smiled and kissed Izuku on the cheek. As Izuku just had a blushing face kept, as he just got going with his day. As Akami and him got home, Izuku lives in the same house with his mother because this is where Izuku lives. As Izuku and his mother, as Izuku came to his garage, which is under the ground, he decided to do some walking. The forest training or the training foresting already passed. So basically, we continue. So yeah, we continue, and yeah. So we see. So yeah, we see Izuku. We see Izuku reading, not reading. We see Izuku sleeping on his bed as Izuku just looks. So yeah, we see Naruto laughing. Not Naruto's Deku. I'm sorry, I just got really tired right now. So then we see Deku looking at looking up in the skies in his mindscape, looking up on the sky as he saw a red flower field. Then he saw Kaneki as Kaneki said, "Go marry her already, you punk." As Izuku said, "Yes, sir." As he left, he got up from bed, went to the kitchen, and as he told Akame has something to tell you. As Akame looked at Izuku and said, "Yeah." As Izuku got into one knee and said, "Will you marry me?" Uh, she just started to cry and said a million times yes. Shizuku and Akame had their wedding a few weeks after that. To say the truth, sometimes in my series I make Deku adopt Eri, but you know what? Forget about it. Yes, Shizuku will adopt Eri. Don't worry. As Shizuku and Akame will have their kids after a certain point of the series, so you won't have to worry. Shizuku and Akame were together in bed, hugging. Shizuku then told Akame, "I love you," as he went to sleep. Then we then we see Izuku and Akame cuddling with each other. As his mother heard this from the camera, as she said, "Grandkids, yes." Then Izuku looked at Akame and said, I feel like my mother's listened to what I said to you." As Akame said, "You think?" As Akame looked at Izuku with a smile and said, I think she's happy." As Izuku said, "Yeah, I think too." As we see Izuku smiling a lot because of how happy he is. Then we're going to the overhaul arc. As we see Izuku walking around the city. He bumped into Muriel. As Muriel said, "Oh, so you're the Ghost of Humanity, the YouTube guy who has over 200 million subscribers now." As Izuku smiled and says that you're a follower of mine as well. As Izuku said, yeah, as Muriel laughed and said, "Yes, I am. I'm a big fan of your theories about heroes and the streams that you show of heroes who aren't true heroes. But Shizuku said, yes, and you seem like a true hero, so I won't be bothering you. As Muriel smiled and said, thank you. Then we see Izuku and Muriel walking around the town as everyone said, oh, it's the ghost of humanity. And Muriel, and they didn't know who Muriel was. Because everyone stopped Izuku and told him, can we get an autograph? As Izuku signed all the autograph and tells them that he'll be making a live stream later. As they both smile. As Izuku just walk with Miro. Miro told Izuku, why don't you become a hero? You won't have to be getting chased by other heroes. As Izuku said, the police protects me because I take heroes that they can't catch. And just take heroes that don't. And I take heroes that aren't true heroes. As as Miro just was shocked, he said, "Okay, I won't mess with this brat." As Izuku just said, "You know I can hear your mumbles." As Miro just said, "Okay, don't worry, you didn't hear anything bad." As Izuku went to the same corner where he saw Eri. As Eri saw as Eri saw a white haired man. She went straight to him and said, please, as she said, please help me. As Shizuku just looked at her and said, what happened? Who did this to you? As she pointed at Overhaul. Yeah, boys, Overhaul arc, not happening. Yeah, you know what? Not yet, it's happening. As Shizuku then told Eri to go with him. I'll save you in a few days. As Mirio and Izuku let go of Eri. Then Eri left with Overhaul as Overhaul wasn't scared or anything. So basically I'm gonna pass real quick. Sorry about it. So yeah, we continue as we see Izuku. As we skip a few weeks later, the meeting between all the heroes that were around that city happened. As Miriam said, and I have a friend coming. As Akame and Izuku came through the door, everyone saw Izuku with his mask and one red eye. As Izuku said, "Well, hello there, heroes. I am Izuku Midoriya, or as you guys may know me, the ghost of humanity." Wait a minute, not his mom. Oh yeah, I forgot. I changed the whole storyline. If you guys are thinking that his mom hated him, sorry about that. I said the whole storyline wrong. It was Izuku. Oh my, that hated Izuku. His sister Izumi lived at the dorms, but his mother really really loved him. His All my, which is his stepfather, didn't like him. Sorry about that. I changed the whole freaking storyline. As we continue. Izuku was saying hello to everyone. I'll be here helping you guys chase after this overhaul, man. As we skip all those boring parts and we're going to the interesting part. Then we see Izuku and Overhaul fighting. As Izuku put Eri on his back. As Izuku managed to chop off Overhaul's arms and legs, only leaving his arms which would let him use his quirk, as his Overhaul wasn't able to use his quirk anymore. Then Izuku grabbed Overhaul, jumped out of the hole. As Izuku then took Overhaul to the prison, to the police, as the police told Izuku, "Thank you for the help." As Izuku smiled and said, "You're welcome." Then we see Izuku and Eri going to the adoption center as Izuku adopted Eri. Then we see Akame Izuku told Akame to go home as Izuku carried Akame to his house to a car and Izuku put Eri on a chair and put her seatbelt on. As Eri and Izuku were driving to his house where his mother lived. All Might took Izumi and you guys are wondering what happened to Ryu? Ryu lives with Izuku. I just didn't have a part for Ryu. as Ryu was just already when Izuku's 20 and again his other sinis and Izumi is 20 as well. Ryu should be. I didn't explain how old actually Ryu. Ryu was at least 14 years old by the time Izuku got married with Akame. As Akame and Izuku took Ryu and Inko to their house and told them to be here with them. I'm gonna pause real quick. So yeah, Ryu is an uncle now. As Inko was happy to see that she had. I'm gonna pause. Sorry about the pause, guys. I just needed to go check something out. And like I was explaining, Ryu is 14 years old, and he's the uncle of Eri. Yay! So basically, Eri was adopted by Izuku, and when Izuku brought Eri home, Akame was like, "Izuku, who's her?" Izuku says, "She's our daughter." Eri said, "Papa, who? Papa, is she Mama?" As Izuku as Izuku said, "Yes, Eri, she's your mother." As Akame just thought Eri was the cutest thing in the world. She just grabbed as as Eri got off Izuku's arms and then looked at Akame. As Akame then lifted off Eri and started to play around with her. As Ryu came out and said, "Yo, big bro, who's she?" As uh Izuku says, she's your niece. As Ryu was like, uh, 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 am I too young to be an uncle? Izuku said, yes, I know. Yes, I know. As we see Izuku, as we see Izuku just say, okay guys, sorry about that music. As we see Izuku just say, hey, Ryu, you're never too young to have a niece. So yeah, then Akame stopped playing with Eri. So Akame took Eri to her room. Akame and Eri went to the room. As Akame, it was already dark, and as Eri and Akame were laying down in the bed with each other, hugging each other. As Akame said, "I love you, Eri," and Eri said, "I love you, mom." Shizuku was happy to see this, as she just fell asleep with Eri, and Isuku fell asleep with them as he just hugged them both. As Ryu and Inko looked at them from afar and laughed and said, looks like my brother has a family now." As Inko laughed as well. "I wish Izumi would have been like you." As as Ryu said, "I wish to, but I couldn't really do anything. I can't really do anything for her. She decided to hate Izuku, so it's her fault. Izuku doesn't really seem like he would want to hurt us." As Izuku just as Izuku just was smiling. He was looking at his sister and mother, and he was smiling. As we continue, as we see, okay, we continue with the what if. As we see Izuku and Eri and Nakami waking up the next day. And the part where I said Inko wish Izumi would have been like Akame. So yeah, Izuku just felt like life has been life has actually blessed him for once. As Izuku looked at it, as Izuku looked at his two, as Izuku looked at his two family family members, he saw he saw Eri and Akame hugging each other. As Izuku got up and went to make breakfast for everyone. Izuku had a butler, but he doesn't like making his butler do work. As Izuku smiled, Izuku told his butler to take a break today. He doesn't need to do anything. As we see, Izuku look having a making dinner to all his family with that's with him. All Might and Izumi are still not forgiven. As we're going to the All Might versus let me All Might versus yeah, All Might versus All for One. All for One versus All Might happened to canon until All Might had to do the final punch. All Might lost. All Might was about to lose until Izuku came into the rescue and said, "Looks like All Might couldn't hold his own against how do you say it? All for One, huh?" All for One got scared. All for One got mad and said, "You can't even remember my name, but you can remember his name." As Izuku said, "Yeah, yada 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 yada. Who cares? I don't care." As Izuku just looked at All Might and said, "You say this guy's the one that kills you?" As Izuku, hmm. As we see Izuku was looking at All Might and said, "Need my help?" As All Might said, "Gladly will take your help, young Midoriya." As Izuku said, "Midoriya is my name." As Izuku looked at All Might and said, "Well, you know one thing, All Might. I actually have forgiven you. We have changed. Even though you made my mother hate me, at least you have changed." Yeah, the reason why Izuku's saying that to All Might is because it's true. The only reason why Inko hated Izuku because All Might thought Izuku was worthless and a villain because of his white hair and nothing else. But Izuku just saved All Might by knocking out All for One. As the news reporters recorded this, they said, "Ghost of humanity, saved our symbol of peace, All Might. All Might is saved by the ghost of humanity. I repeat, All Might is saved by the ghost of humanity. We all should say our thank you to All Might." As All Might bent down to Izuku and said thank you. All the heroes did, as Izuku said. As Izuku then said, "Well, it's no problem." As Izuku just faced off against All Might and not faced off against All Might. He faced off against All for One, as All for One lost and was sent to prison. So yeah, as we're skipping a few years later, as Izuku was now 23 years old, Ryu was 3 years later. He is 17. Izumi is 33 as well. As Izuku decided to let All Might visit his family, as Akame met All Might, and she was pissed at first, but then she let go of that anger. As Eri met her grandfather, as Izuku, then Eri and Izuku had a one kid, and this kid had a combination of multiple quirks and Kagune. As Izuku smiled because his kid actually had it. He was the same as him. He was a one-eyed ghoul, but his eye was on the left of it on the left. Izuku was like, Jesus, this kid is overpowered. He has multiple quirks as well. So they seen their Izuku's kid, which is Eri's younger brother, use so many quirks. He was using a fire quirk, a fire manipulation quirk, a pyrokinesis quirk, a telekinesis, super strength, reading mind, everything else, and even floating. As Izuku smiled about his son. Yeah. So we continue. Naruto, no, not Naruto. Basically, Deku had a happy life after that. He gave up his vigilante work. His YouTube channel made it up a lot higher than other YouTubers. He was much famous than all of them. So he was technically rich enough to give up his life as a vigilante. As Izuku as Izuku just finished his vigilante work. And yes, this is the end. This is a happy ever after for the world's number one villain and the world's first vigilante. Yes, Isuku and her are the world's first vigilantes. Eri and his and Re and Mark. Yeah, that's what I'm gonna name it, their son. I just thought of that right now. Don't blame me. So Mark is the son of Kame and Isuku. Mark and Eri might take their mom and dad's place, but for now they won't. Isuku told their son told Eri if she can become the world's number one hero, and that'll make them proud. As Isuku smiled at Eri, as Eri was happy to be with this family. So thank you guys for watching. This was the one shot for What If Deku Was Betrayed. Thank you guys for watching. This was Phantom Duel Seer, and goodbye.